We begin today with some breaking news on the 2021 start of the NBA season. The NBA Board of Governors is meeting today to discuss plans for the 2021 season, including starting as quickly as Christmas Day and playing fewer than 82 games potentially without fans in the stands, sources tell ESPN. Friday, October 30th, is going to be the deadline to discuss all of the modifications to the collective bargaining agreement for the 2021 season, and the draft is scheduled for November 18th. I want to bring in Brian Windhorst, who co-authored this report with Woj and Zach Lowe. Brian, how realistic is it starting the NBA season on Christmas Day?
Clear your schedule. I think there's a very strong chance that is going to happen. In fact, I think it's going to happen even before Christmas, because you're going to not want to have ring night on Christmas Day. So I think there's a possibility that it could actually start slightly before Christmas. This is a big pivot from what Adam Silver was talking about just less than a month ago at the finals, when he talked about how he wanted to play an 82-game season with fans in the stands at all arenas. But as the situation has unfolded, the NBA owners have reevaluated. They realize how important Christmas Day is, and in their meeting today, they have made the recommendation to begin on Christmas or slightly before, with a slightly reduced season, perhaps about 72 games, finishing on time in mid to late June, and back on schedule for 21-22.
All right, I mentioned the October 30th CBA deadline just a moment ago. What is the biggest hurdle to getting a new collective bargaining agreement done by then?
Can you imagine, Richard, getting drafted by your team and then being expected to basically ship out the next day and start camp within about 7 to 10 days? Can you imagine signing as a free agent and having to potentially report to a new team within 72 hours to begin camp? Because that's what we're looking at here. They've got to negotiate with the players an agreement to get this started so fast. They have promised the players that they would give them an 8-week head up to the start of the season. Well, 8 weeks is in the middle to the end of next week toward Christmas. And so this is going to get decided quick, and there's going to be a lot of players impacted, and it's not going to be pleasant. But the expectation in me talking with the union is that there's a good chance this is going to get done. So I say to fans, prepare for NBA basketball on Christmas Day.
All right, let's go. Brian, thank you so much for joining us today. Great report. I want to bring Amin and Perk back into this mix. Perk, I want to ask you, is playing on Christmas Day, is that juice of it, is it worth coming back this quickly for a very, very short offseason?
Absolutely. And look, the players knew this when they agreed, when the Players Association agreed to playing in the bubble, that it could be a quick turnaround. And that's what's happening right now. We have to have basketball on Christmas Day. It's a no-brainer. And look, they have a lot of teams that hadn't played since March, since the pandemic. You remember? So a lot of guys had a lot of time off. So at the end of the day, they knew that this could be a possibility, that if you reached the finals and played in the championship, that you will have a short off season. So I'm all in for Christmas Day games. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, you know, the funny thing is, Richard, they were talking a big talk about wanting fans in the seats and all that, and I think they've just come to the realization with the science that's happening right now, that's not realistic. And so if we're going to start a season without having people in the buildings, then we might as well get it started sooner rather than later. There's no purpose in waiting to start with the same circumstances that we could start with on Christmas. And the other part of it is, I feel like the NBA is always afraid that the NFL is coming to steal Christmas from them. We have Christmas, they have Thanksgiving, and college football has New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. And we don't want to give up that prime real estate. If you leave the door open, someone is going to move in and start squatting on it. So I see the sense of urgency there from the league.
Yeah, with so much talk about ratings and then there's revenue, like that's just such a huge day for the NBA. I just can't see. It's an American tradition at this point in time. But Perk, I wanted to ask you, ESPN is reporting that the league is open to starting the season without fans in the stands. How big of a deal is that for the players?
Well, it's not. I mean, they got used to it. A lot of players got used to it playing in the bubble. But, you know, fans make the NBA. Without fans, there's no NBA. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, obviously, watching the NFL, we watching some games. Some arenas don't have fans. Some do. So it'll be interesting to see how the NBA and Adam Silver figure things out. But you know, fans is what bring the joy to the game of basketball, and you fight to have home court, and you want to be at home, and the fans are rowdy, or you want to be on the road playing in a hostile environment. So it may play a huge part.
Yeah, you know, Richard, they estimate the income from people coming to games, tickets and parking and concessions and all that to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 35–40% of league income. So it's a big deal to say we're going to start and we're going to play without these people in the building. Having said that, there's a lot of income that comes from TV, whether it's local TV deals to the individual teams or the national TV deals that get paid out to everybody, to the league, and distributed to all the teams. So, again, the idea of playing the games and having good ratings might outweigh the need to wait until you can have people in the stands. As far as the quality of play itself, I think Perk hit it on the head. Most of the guys, you know, 22 teams played in a bubble without fans in the stands, and guess what? The basketball was fine. The basketball was great. We didn't have any drop-off in intensity. We didn't have any drop-off in execution. So while we all wish fans were in the building, this is going to get there at some point. For right now, let's just play basketball.
Yeah, no, I agree with you guys. I'm not saying the Lakers wouldn't have won the championship. I'm just saying I would have been very interested to see how the brackets would have played out if there was home court advantage and those things that players were playing on. But we're going to have to wait and see.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.